as well as development. Is a fellow of 6 reputable institutes and organizations within Nigeria and outside. Is a fellow for Center for Productivity. Is a certified management consultant. Is a member, Nigerian Institute of Training and Development. Is a fellow, Institute of Management Consultants. Is also a fellow, Institute of Credit Administration, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Institute of Governance Management. Is also a fellow, Association of Forensic Science and Expert Witness. You all agree with me that the personality we are referring to this morning is a personality with an impeccable character, and obviously is going to do justice to the subject matter. In addition to the feathers on his cap, is an author of new ways of employee empowerment, entrepreneurial finance. On the Amazon list, you'll find it there. Is a director, Institute of Forensic Science and Expert Witness. Is a president of Association of Pension Desk Practitioners of Nigeria. And finally, is an assessor of 2 reputable institutes, Institute of Management Consultants and Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Before I bring him in, it's appropriate we recognize some personalities in our midst. At this point in time, I would want all fellows on this call to introduce themselves turn by turn. And in addition to that, permit me to also ask you to capture FCP immediately after your name for easy identification. You have the floor for just 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. One after the other. Fellow in the house, please. Introduce yourself. Unmute your mic and introduce yourself. Thank you.
You can take the floor. Hello, Ede.
It is still muted.
Okay. Hello, Ede, you are muted. Wilson, can you introduce yourself? Okay. If it's taking time, Adeola Oloede, please introduce yourself. Okay, it's taking time, so you can go on, Dr. Ademi.
Okay.
Okay. Wilson, Dadet, can you introduce yourself, Wilson? Unmute yourself. Okay, go ahead, Engineer Dr. Olede.
Okay. As usual, a little housekeeping and setting the ground rules for today's engagement. If you have any question, I can see a lot of people raising their hands electronically. Technos Part 7, Olise Famous, please lower your hand. We are not there yet. Lower your hands, please. In the course of this meeting, if you have any question, you require clarification, or you want to make any comments, kindly type them in the QA box on your Zoom control panel. I can assure you we are going to attend to all the questions in the course of this meeting. Number two, we expect you to mute your mic if you are not speaking. And if you want to speak, you can indicate by raising your hands electronically. And immediately after this introduction, we start the presentation. We expect everyone to switch off their video mode. Very, very important. At this point in time, may I crave your indulgence to welcome our guest speaker for today in person of Dr. Chris Ebo. Dr. Chris, you have the floor for the presentation.
Thank you. Dr. Engineer. We shall have time to do more interaction at the end of the program. We will answer all your questions and discuss more. We have about 100 people admitted, and that is the capacity of the Zoom. So if for any reason you log out or you go out, you keep trying, you will be admitted back as soon as there is chance, because we have hit 100 now. And if I also have any technical reason to go out, the chairman and our vice president will continue the presentation. So there's no cause for alarm. So we have taken care of those issues. So without wasting time, are you seeing the screen?
I can see it, DG, but you need to advance to slide mode.
Yes,
go to slide mode.
That's what I want to do now. Okay. Okay. You are seeing it better?
Excellent, excellent.
Okay. Now we go ahead. We minimize. Okay, right. So we are discussing today 10 easy steps for conquering the challenges of working hard and working versus working smart. Most of us have known about working hard from early days. We are taught that you have to work hard in order to succeed. But that is not all the truth. You are not told all the truth. Apart from working hard, you also need to work very smart in order to succeed. Yes, and we are going to see some techniques of working smart today, which you have to adopt very fast if you need to succeed. Now, this is the center giving fellowship to one of our members, Adewumi Adeni, who is a council member of Nigeria Institute of Management. Yeah. So I have been introduced, so we don't waste time on that. Now, these are some of the table of contents of what we are going to look at today. We are going to look at the difference between hard work and working smart. We are going to look at some techniques you will put in order to work very smart, like Pomodoro techniques, batching techniques, sharpening and putting down the saw, and scheduling tasks according to your chronotype. If you look, we will also look at leveraging people's time, other people's money, and delivering and capturing value, and so much more. Briefly also, we will also talk about the center of productivity. A lot of people are asking, what are they and what do they stand for? How was I invited and why? We are going to answer some of those questions. Now, hard workers believe that in order to be successful in the long run, you have to put long hours into work. You have to start early before everyone else, and you have to stay up late when everyone else is already enjoying the afternoons or evening. That is to say, you have to work 24/7 if you want to succeed. That is what hard workers believe. Even when some are relaxing, they believe that they are not supposed to relax, they are supposed to work. But I will tell you for free that even someone who works for 4 hours a day might be more successful than somebody who works 10 hours. We are going to see why. Now, working smart, many people work hard, but only a few become really successful. That is because smart work is what makes one more productive and successful, and not working hard alone. If you look at the up, you will see difference between working hard and working smart. There's need to go up, and this one is stretching himself, trying to touch the rope and stretching himself. This other man who is working smart just got a ladder and he has climbed past him. And with this ladder, you can agree that this man will never meet this one, no matter how hard he tries. That is the difference. Now, and
sorry, Dr. Chris, I have to interrupt you at this point.
Okay.
The feedback I'm getting clearly showed that some people cannot hear you very well. Please, can you increase your volume? I can hear you very well. Some other people can hear you very well, but some people, they are still having challenges.
Okay. Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's better. You can continue while we monitor the trend.
Okay, so give me feedback as soon as it's possible. Now, number one technique to work smart is to use Pomodoro Technique. Pomodoro is from Italian word, tomato, which means having a circle, going into a circle. Pomodoro Technique is a productivity system that stops you from procrastinating or getting distracted so that you can focus on getting the stuff done. The idea is simple. You set a timer for 25 minutes. Yes, you use a timer, you set it for 25 minutes, and you work until it runs out. Then take 5 minutes break and repeat the process 3 more times, which means that after each 100 minutes, you will take 15 to 30 minutes break. That is one Pomodoro cycle. You use a timer and you set it 25 minutes. When it finishes, it will alert you and you take a break of 5 minutes. After 3 cycles or 4 cycles, you take 15 to 30 minutes break. The basic principle of this process is you decide what you are going to work on. Ideally, tasks should take roughly 1 25 minutes block to accomplish. Larger tasks should be split into small chunks. So as you have something that will take 4 hours, you break it down, 25 minutes. Then you set a timer for 25 minutes, you start working and don't stop. Ignore any email, text, or other notifications, or better yet, put them on silence until the 25 minutes is gone. When the timer rings, you finished one Pomodoro. You take a 5 minutes break. You can stretch yourself, check social media within the 5 minutes, and you do everything. Then you use the timer and keep honest to yourself. Immediately it's 5 minutes. Then you go back and set another 25 minutes. After every 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes is normally about right. You keep going until your work or study session is done. If you try it, you'll be marvel on how productive you are going to be. This is what we mean here. You can see, you set your watch like this, your timer, and it starts going down, as you can see. It starts going down. So as you are walking, you'll be checking it. Immediately it gets to 0, a small alarm will ring. And when it rings, you move on and take 5 minutes break. The 5 minutes break is to enable you rejuvenate yourself and relax a bit. Now we move on. Another method is using batch method. I think I can move this. Using the batch method. Now, in a given day, you hop from email inbox to a video conference, call, you make call, you send text, and then move back to your assignment, to giving feedback also to projects you are assigned over and over again. You have a lot of things doing. If you are working in a way that is known, if you are working in this way, it is known as lane switching. Lane switching. You are moving from one task to another. Now, what you need to do is hanging. What is switching cost when you are moving from one task to another include you have difficulty in refocusing. You will lose productivity. And that is not to mention the toll multitasking takes on your mental health, because you are not balanced. You are moving from one thing to the other, and you are losing some steam. By batching, you allow your brain to only focus on similar activities during a given time period. What do we mean by similar activities? Yes, you bring a chunk of similar tasks together. Batching isn't same thing as time blocking or scheduling, where you put time you will do each activity. No, here is the main difference. Time blocking is more of prioritization technique or scheduling time in advance or what you want to do, important things first, instead of doing non-priority items. That is time blocking or scheduling. But in batching, we are talking about you bringing similar activities into a period of time and limiting a given period to one specific kind of work instead of switching from one item to another. Now, let's take, for example, you're a marketing director. How do you determine your project bucket? That is what you are going to do that are similar at the same time during the week. Now, a marketing director may have activities such as training and learning new things, admin work or an email, team training and meetings and feedback on team member projects. He may also have to do deep work on strategy and brainstorming, project implementation, analyzing and reporting results. These are his different activities. Now he will batch his work in this way, as you can see in the window. Now AM is morning, PM is afternoon. On Monday, P stands for, as we is a digital marketer, post. You post things online. Monday, morning and afternoon. Tuesday, PH, morning and afternoon. PH stands for photographs and video. He will work on photographs and video for his online posting. Then on Wednesday, morning, G stands for graphics and photo editing. Therefore, you are combining similar activities together instead of jumping from one activity to another. This is what we mean by batching. And if you try it, you will see that you are going to do what? You will be smarter in your working. The third technique is sharpening and putting down the saw. Sharpening and putting down the saw. The greatest killers of productivity and satisfaction is illness. At times you fall ill, you are injured, you are depressed, lethargy, and burnout. You will not work very smartly when you are faced with all these serious issues. That means that the greatest asset you have in your life to work smart is yourself. It includes your energy levels, working and earning capacity, your competencies, your daily motivations, and so on. You have to build them up. Now, taking care of your greatest asset, you, is by preserving and enhancing your own energy. You must know how to enhance and preserve your own energy. And that is the philosophy between sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw, just like a farmer working. There are two different important concepts to consider. There are, the first one, you put down the saw, which means you have to take enough rest and recover. The second is sharpening the saw, which means you have to take good care of yourself and constantly invest in your development to keep improving and growing. You must keep improving and growing. We live in knowledge-based society, and the most sought after and the best paid skills are intellectual in nature, not the people who use their raw energy. And so the best way to improve our earning capacity is to continuously acquire new competencies. And that leads us to the third layer, sharpening the saw, which means taking good care of your mind and your brain. So it makes sense to constantly invest in hard skills. The hard skill you have is your domain knowledge or your industry. Maybe you are a petroleum engineer. The petroleum engineering aspect is your hardcore. You also need soft skills, technical knowledge, our creative capacities, and so on. How to relate with people, how to lead people, and so forth. There are many different ideas how you can take good care of your mind. They include reading a book, listening to audiobooks, doing an online course, such as FCP, doing something completely new, doing brain exercise, brainstorming ideas or visualizing your goals, creating something artistic, plan, write, and teach a topic, learn to program or brush up on your technical skills. As you can see here from Franklin Covey, he mentioned how you can sharpen your body by taking exercise, eating healthy, sleeping, resting, relaxation. You sharpen your mind by reading, educating yourself, writing, learning new skills. You are hard by building relationships with people, giving service. You love and love others. You are sold by meditating, praying, keeping a journal, praying, taking quality media, and so forth. So those that are smart do all these things. Remember, we have mentioned about 3 now. We are going to the 4th one, which is scheduling your tasks according to your chronotype. Chronotype. You must know when to do things. Chronotype is a scientific term that commonly is referred to as internal clock. Internal clock. Well, we generally talk about internal clock in terms of natural inclination to fall asleep and when we wake up at certain hours of the day. Chronotypes can be used for more beneficial use, more than cycle. Your personal chronotype impacts what most creative, most likely to make a mistake, and most likely to be in a good or bad mood, and much more. Yes. In his book, The Scientific Secret of Perfect Timing, the author, Pink, reviewed the scientific research that proves the phrase, timing is everything, isn't just a clinch. According to Pink, pink. The hundreds of scientific studies rely on to write the book. Everyone, people of all ages, genders, and races across all geographical locations and time zones experience over the course of every day. They have peak period, drum, and rebound. That means you must know how to put your activities when you are at your peak period. Most people, chronotype looks like this. You wake up in the morning, 7 a.m., you are trying to pick up. If you watch the graph, by 9 a.m., you are picking up. By 11, you find out that you are in your peak between 11 and 1 o'clock and 1 p.m. And then tiredness sets in between 1 to 5. You rebound again from 5 till 9 p.m. So if you want to work smartly, you must schedule most stuff activities at the time you are very, your peak period. Now we move to, we are still in 4. When you work on certain type of tasks, absolutely impacts your productivity when you work on it.
Dr. Chris, I have to interrupt you once more.
Okay.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, very well.
Yeah, your slide is static. It's not moving.
Okay. But
you've been on slide 14 or 15 for some minutes now.
Okay.
And I know you've gone beyond that.
Okay. So I wonder why it's not moving, because it's moving from my own end.
It's static. It's static, yeah. It's not moving.
Okay. Has it moved now?
Not yet.
Has it moved?
Not yet.
Dr. Chris, kindly unshare, then reshare it.
Okay, that's what I will do.
Like, unshare and reshare it. Thank you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly give us 1 minute to recalibrate the system. Dr. Chris will soon be back online. Thank you.
Okay. Is it moving now?
Excellent.
Okay, thanks for the feedback. Okay.
You're welcome.
So that's why you are the chairman and you are doing a good job. Okay, this is where we are. When you work on certain types of tasks, you have to look at the timing. Timing is very important. If you want to work smarter, you need to identify your chronotype when you are at your peak. Some people, it is in the night they are at their peak. It may not follow the same pattern that I have shown over here. It may not follow this pattern. But then if you know your chronotype, when you are at your peak, you schedule most of your important assignment at that time. It's very, very important. Now, the fifth one is make sure that you are in a high growth market. Make sure that you are in a high growth market. Now, if you are in an industry that is going down, there's no amount of hard work you can do to compensate or to make it a good industry. The cruel fact about capitalism is that markets always win. Markets are the one thing that can put your career on the fast track or destroy it to the blink of an eye. Market trends and industry outlooks have a big influence on your success rate. People operating in the right markets or industry are exposed to more business opportunities and can earn a lot more money more quickly and have a positive sentiment regarding their work. For the right markets are stable markets with high growth and good long-term perspectives. So the people that are in right markets, money chase after them. They succeed more. On the other hand, if you find yourself in the wrong market, a market that is in decline, has stiff competition and negative future outlook, there are fewer and fewer opportunities. The probability of losing your job or business client is much higher, and depressed market carry their depression over to you sooner or later. We will give example very soon. This means you'll be working hard, but nothing to show for it. But smart work means choosing the right industry. This means not and market you will operate in based only on your interests, talent, hobbies, family tradition. So you don't say, this is our family work. Like you're a carpenter, this is my family work. You know now that those that are doing carpentry the imported ones are terribly competing with them. For instance, all industry need productivity professionals. As an individual, you need to upscale your productivity. Now, these are some of the most in-demand skills you should look to develop: cloud computing, artificial intelligence, sales leadership, mobile app development, people management, productivity improvement, video production, and so forth. Now, let's look at this chart, Nigeria, 2020, second quarter, GDP growth. Here, this is the period of everyone was at home during the COVID-19. But you see that the growth rate of those in fishing, because it's food, was high. It recorded 28.41. So if you are into farming or fish business during that time, you will do well. Followed by telecommunication, that is the second one. Those that were in telecommunication also did well. That was where the Zoom capitalization shot very high, more than quadruple. But now let's look at other markets. People during that time that were in motor vehicle assembly, they were not doing well, because when people were at home, there was nobody buying cars during that time because there was no movement. So you have to really look at the industry you are, whether it is growing or is declining. And if it's declining, you have to make a change. Now, information. Our members will receive free this slide and the recorded video, while others will receive just the training video. If you want to get it, you should, if you want to get the free materials, in the chat, put your name, email, and phone number. Some have also asked whether they can get certificate. Certificate is optional, e-certificate. It will cost you 5,000 for the admin charge. So if you want an e-certificate, you should also indicate there. The admin will get in touch with you. Now, the sixth one is acquire skills that are in high demand. Acquire skills that are in high demand. Being a smart worker means exposing yourself to as many opportunities as possible. Always scan for opportunities for faster promotion and more clients, and consequently more added value and more money. The best way to do that is to own competence that are in great demand, but very short supply. People who combine the right market with the right competence are the winners. Very well. Do you understand? Addressing each market that have potential for exponential growth and are rapidly expanding. Now, You have to develop competencies that are in big demand, but short in supply in those markets. You will find out that in Nigeria, for instance, at times we have organizations that have billions, but they are not doing well. It is because they lack organizational productivity development. They are not able to harness the productivity potential. So you need to have knowledge about organizational productivity development, how to harness the input and output and make sure that you are getting higher output. We also need organizational knowledge management, making sure that the organizational traditions and way of doing things are documented. You also need to apply technology in growth hacking. Yes. Most of the things today are done online. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You must know how to use technology and grow exponentially. Digital business marketing is a must, no matter the business you are in. Also, managing your cash flow and liquidity, personal productivity development, how to manage flexible workers. The COVID-19 have taught us that a lot of people can stay at home and work. Very productive while at home. You have to learn about that. Building efficient and productive organization, not organization that declines, no. How to negotiate a deal, succession planning. These are some of the new skills you will need. And the center also provides trainings on this before you become a member. People who combine the right markets with the right competencies are the winners any day. Now, at home, please can you unmute your device?
Dr. Chris, kindly unmute yourself.
Okay, that's
Dr. Chris.
Yes, please.
Okay, fine. Okay,
Okay,
you can continue.
Yes. Yeah. Assignment you are going to do later on in order to be a smart worker is you should list all the talents you have and then rate the supply and demand for all of them on a scale of 1 to 10. All the talent, all the things you can do. List all the talent that you could develop and that there is in big demand and scarce supply in the market. So you list all the things you can do and put the demand on a scale of 1 to 10. And also list the ones that are in big demand that you can develop and put them also in a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. Now, you now think about which of the talent, competencies, and skills you are currently developing that are low-level skills that are not in demand and can be provided by others for a very cheap price. You build a strategy for how you can stop doing these low-level activities and focus on the work that brings much greater added value. Test your value on the market from time to time. Try to get a new job offer or a better client that will pay more. Yes, you try and get that. The seventh one is you leverage other people's time. You leverage other people's time. The approach of doing everything by yourself is the biggest enemy of smart work. If you want to work smart, you have to learn how to delegate. You have to see other people's time as infinite resources you can engage. Let's assuming it will take you 5 hours to sew your own cloth. You are a tailor, you can sew. And using that 5 hours as a tailor, instead of sewing your own cloth, if you put 5 hours in your consultancy, instead of getting 5,000, you can get 20,000. Which one will you prefer? You delegate to sew and pay 5,000 and use that time to get 20,000. That is what we are saying here. Very simple. So you must look at things you should delegate. Things you should delegate and do that. Now we move on. Sorry. If you want to work smart, you can learn how to delegate. Knowing how to delegate is also another issue. You have to see other people's time as an infinite resources. We have mentioned that. Now, use the 3D formula. Delegate. The 3D formula says delete if it is not connected to creating or delivering or capturing value. Anything that cannot create value, cannot capture value. Value in this sense is what you can sell, or services you can sell, or goods you can sell. You delete. Delegate if someone else can do it. Do it if and only if it is a task with the biggest impact on your future success. So you use this 3D, delete, delegate, and do it. So you must know when to delegate, when to delete, when to do it. You have to value your time as the most important thing in the world. Value your time as the most important thing in the world. Think about outsourcing anything that costs less than you can make per hour, as I have mentioned with sewing your own cloth. 8, leverage other people's money. Leverage other people's money. When it comes to financial wealth or money, which include investable assets such as cash, equities, funds, and bonds, the amount of financial wealth in the world has reached $250 trillion in 2020. When we are having COVID-19, it grew to 8.3 despite the pandemic, according to Forbes magazine. So you see, apart from Nigeria, there are investors elsewhere who have this money, $250 trillion, who want to invest. Therefore, like you can leverage in other people's time, you can also leverage in other people's money. What it means is that if you have a brilliant idea of what you want to do, you can get the support. In as much as the return on investment will justify people investing their money. Smart workers leverage other people's money with their innovative ideas, knowledge, and know-how for using money to make more money. Look at Uber, for example. People buy vehicles, register with them, and deploy it all over the world. It is only the app that Uber owns. But yet, the amount of investment in people's vehicles that are there is in billions of dollars. So that is a brilliant idea. Leveraging other people's money. The only thing that can prevent you from leveraging other people's money are your limiting belief. A mindset that puts you back to hard work. You don't believe that you can use other people's money. You believe, I don't want to be in debt. Let me just see what I can get by myself. And you keep working hard and nothing to show. Constantly look for opportunities for how you could leverage other people's money in an ethical way. Don't work hard for money. Let money work hard for you. 9, focus on capturing value. Focus on creating, delivering, and capturing value. Smart workers achieve a very extensive level of productivity by being brutally focused on creating, delivering, and capturing value. What do we mean? Anything they are doing is something that worth their time. That is what smart workers understand the most. Smart work means understanding that there are only 3 activities that are really important for maximizing your life results. The first one is creating value, that is innovating. What will people exchange their money for? Create it, innovate it, develop it. The second one is delivering value, that is marketing. When you have good innovative product, how you market it matters. If you have egg and you keep it, for instance, in your farm, nobody will buy. But move it to where people need it, you will sell. The third one is capturing value, that is invoicing. You must know how to invoice the people, get them to pay, and so forth. If you want to be smart worker, only do things that create value, deliver value, and capture value. And capturing value here also including negotiating. Be aware that no money means no value. If you have no money, it means you are not creating enough value. Look at this diagram by Armstrong and Kotler. It says creating value for customer and building customer relationship means understanding the marketplace and customer needs. When you understand the marketplace and customer need, you design a customer's driven strategy. You construct an integrated marketing program to market what you have designed. Then you build profitable relationship. Then you capture value by making sure you are making profit. The last and the 10th. You see, on working smart, we have more than 30 ways to work smart, but because of time, I will only take 10. So you try to build up portfolio, passive portfolio income source. Smart people don't always rely on their energy to earn money. They create passive portfolio income. The first source of income is active income, which means you are trading your time for money. You work from 8 to 5 and you are paid. But still, you can have 8 to 14 hours working per day. Your time is limited, which means that your income is limited. That is not smart work. The middle class is limited by trading their time and for money. But smart workers focus more on passive and portfolio income. This means that they do something one time that will bring money into their pocket every month, every day, every week. Therefore, their money is working for them. There are examples such as creating some kind of intellectual property, books, blog, YouTube videos, or you create goods, visible goods, product that people can buy, also like software or innovation. Or being an active investor, you can invest in real estate or in businesses. Smart people don't want to constantly work for money. They are investors too. They invest their money. So if you want to be a smart worker, think about the following. Think like an investor about everything you do with all of your resources like money, time. Calculate how much you will invest, the risk, the upside potential, and your expectation. Calculate your return on investment and think about other alternative investments you could make. So if your money, for instance, where it is giving you 2%, like treasury bill or fixed deposit now is between 2-3%, you can think about alternative way you can invest and get higher return. Look at this diagram. Active income versus passive income. By the left, you see somebody that rely on active income. He work from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. He's trading his time for money. But look at the other side, passive income. He has free time from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Why? You don't work for money. the money works for you. So you must, to a great extent, make your money to work for you. For those who is just joining, I've mentioned before that if you want, our members will receive free slides and video. Other non-members will receive free training video. And if you want it, you send a chat requesting for the free materials. You send your full names, email, phone number. It's also optional because some people have asked, can they get a certificate? Yes, we can give e-certificates. That will cost 5,000 for administrative charge. If you want it, you indicate in the chat and the admin will get across to you. So now, some people have asked also the role of CPROD in productivity. Yes, CPROD have seen that there is low productivity in Africa national economy, especially in the public sector. And instead of everyone complaining, we have to do something. Therefore, as an organization and institute, we train our members organization on how to be productive, because government alone cannot do it. And CPROD has been registered since 2000. This registration certificate number as a non-governmental and non-profit organization, then the best productivity principles, values, and standard, and everyone comes through a formal training to learn about productivity standard. What is the benefit for our members? The benefit is they understand how to increase their personal productivity and raise their living standard, and by so doing, enhance national productivity. You can see some of our members. This is induction we did at Sheraton Hotel some few months back. So our members learn how to improve their real income by working smart. Our members receive also productivity tips through newsletter monthly. Increasing our members' productivity also help their businesses to be more profitable. Our fellow members use the generatory letter FCP, ordinary members MCP, associate SCP. We have a monthly newsletter where research on emerging issues in the profession that can help them locally and internationally. And apart from that, we have a planned ongoing program of productivity coaching for about 3 months, which we give to our members. Our members are also listed, our fellows are listed online in CPROD membership, CPROD website. There's also opportunity. These are what some of our members have said, how they have benefited their testimonials, as you can see from here. Yes. CPROD creates productivity awareness through direct productivity awareness campaign, through emails we send to over 200,000 people in our database, through free open webinars just like this, free productivity courses, free and publications in the national dailies. If you can see there, you can see Sun newspaper, Vanguard, and so forth. Like we said here in Sun newspapers, how Nigerian GDP can increase, Center for Public Service, Productivity and Development. So this is an induction we did in Abuja, and prominent people who are captains of industry and top flyers in their profession are here. This is the induction we also did in Abuja at Ekiti State House. And these are all the materials our members go through before becoming a fellow. We make sure that you have things, content, material that can benefit you, such as these ones that are listed here. How you can hack your growth, manage your cash flow, negotiation, succession planning, and so forth. So for further information, you can email us at info@centerforproductivity.org or visit our website. Now, in the past 40 minutes, you can agree it's a time well spent. We can't cover everything you need to know about improving your productivity even in an hour. You can get more information about how we have grown other individuals and organizations through our website. Please focus on being productive instead of being busy. What we have said so far, in case you have means thinking and planning after doing the job. Dedication or doing work without intention about the result, you are not creating any value. No added value. You are going just the extra mile for people to see that you are working. You have one way of doing the job. But smart work means thinking and planning ahead of the job, always having the result in view. You add value in anything you do. You create value. You innovate value. Many ways of getting the job done, you know it. In conclusion, it is important that you work smarter, not harder. It is important to work smarter, not harder, because it saves the energy. It increases productivity. It increases motivation. It increases self-esteem. It makes you more valuable. Companies and organizations are always looking for productive workers, for ways to get more accomplished with less effort, and looking for ways to work smarter, not harder, can allow you to save valuable resources for your organization. See prosperity through productivity. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much, Dr. Chris Ebo, for that enlightening and very, very insightful presentation. While you were presenting, a lot of personalities, dignitaries actually joined us. We have Dr. Joko Dola, Dr. Abiodun Adeshina, Professor Mrs. Olajumoke Familoni. We also have Barrister Valentine Igbenoku, Mr. Kelvin Chiazo, Professor Tangian also joined us, Dr. Rex. We also have Dr. Ikechukwu Chibuzo. He joined us in the course of the presentation. We also have Alhaji Mohammed Bala, Dr. Oluseyi Adeyemi, Dr. Yusuf Moraino, and a host of others joined us while you were presenting. We also noticed that the 100 slots we designed for these engagements obviously is very, very inadequate. So next time we are having this level of engagement, we'll try as much as possible to increase it to a minimum of 250 to enable us have enough people to come in and benefit from this fountain of wisdom and knowledge. At this point, we'll enter the Q&A session. I mentioned earlier, part of our ground rules, that if you require any clarification, if you have any comments, even questions, you should capture that in the chat room of the Zoom control panel. But I've been checking most of what I could see, comments, email. At this point, let me ask the hosts to unmute everybody so that if you have any question, you can indicate electronically by raising your hand using the Zoom control panel. You have it there. I will call you. We have Mr. Sharif Shamsuddin. Can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
So now, yeah.
Is that Sherry Shamsuddin? Shamsuddin?
No.
Host, please help to unmute them.
Yeah, I've unmuted everyone.
Okay, great. Okay, can we have Techno Pop 4? At least next time you indicate your name. You indicate your name so that we'll be able to identify whoever is with us. This individual. Okay, can we have Samson Abiola?
Yes.
Go ahead with your question.
Is it possible for us to get the question online?
Yes, my name is Chief Iwuze. My name is
Please go ahead with your question.
I said, how is it possible for us to get the material?
We are enjoying the lecture. We thank you. We noticed precisely we and our family noticed the application of working smart. Even apply this medium and small scale enterprise.
Sorry, you are not audible enough. Can you take that question again, please?
Yes, my name is Chief Iwuze and my family. We sincerely appreciate this lecture. We notice that even the every lecture is applicable to medium and small scale enterprises.
Please,
Dr. Chris, can you
mute everyone. Please, if we are going to enjoy this session, it will be important that if you are not called, don't unmute yourself. If you are not called, don't unmute yourself so that we can enjoy this aspect. If everybody unmute himself, we cannot enjoy it. Thank you. Please, the person that is called can go ahead, unmute yourself and speak.
Thanks so much, Dr. Chris. Thanks so much. You can go ahead and ask your question now.
If I mute myself, it's not coming on me.
Sorry, introduce yourself before asking your question.
Okay, recognize another person.
So the question most people are asking, I think is mainly on how they can get the presentation materials. I think you made mention of the fact that we'll make it available for all the participants. Then the video too will be made available to certain category of individuals. So it will be made available. If you can hear me very well, that takes care of that. One person is raising his hand, but His name is not there.
Can I
If you are
talk on the person?
Okay, good. Azo Oko, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, Dr. Oko.
Oh, Dr. Oko, apologies.
Yeah, Dr. Oko.
Go ahead with your question.
My question is that on this issue of creating value, which I understood very well, in terms of the civil service where people are old and they are salary, where do you really begin in helping them to understand the need to create this value? Because the salary issue is making it very difficult to motivate workers in the civil service.
Good morning. I just came and joined the meeting. I'm a little late. Sorry for that.
Awesome. Did you understand me very well?
Thank you, Mr. Sodiq. Mr. Musa Suleiman, can you go ahead with your question? Okay, Dr. Abiodun Adeshino. Can we have your question?
I really appreciate the opportunity to learn idea of how to work smart in my organization. I'm additional brothers and I learned the College of Education or your state. I want to thank the organization for bringing this timely reminder to us. So the question I posted it on the chat box that in this 21st century, we ought to work smartly. Things are happening too fast at the speed of light. And for us to work in tandem with that, we have pandemic problem of erratic power supply in Nigeria. We equally have, alongside with that, fluctuating and incessant network failure. So how can we technologically work smartly with these two problems, erratic power supply and network failure? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun. And I know you agree with me completely that there is no ideal situation in any part of the globe. Once people identify a particular issue or limitation, they work towards fixing it. But our challenge is if that situation is not identified and they are not working towards it, then it's a problem. So if you notice that those areas you have mentioned, electricity, internet, there are pragmatic measures in place at various levels, trying to make sure those issues are resolved. But it cannot be accomplished overnight. It has gestation period. So from time to time, we have that role to prompt the various authorities that, okay, in this particular area, you are wasting so much time. What are you doing? If you need any support, we can come in, we can make recommendations. That is how most of these problems are solved. Dr. Chris, can you add to that?
Dr. Chris, are you there?
I want to ask him a question, but like you say. Okay. Yes, my name is Chief Iwuze. I want to ask Dr. Egu this
Seems like Dr. Chris is not there.
Can you go ahead with your question, please?
Great. My question hinges principally on the application of the policies and principles the doctor has expressed in his letter. Please, he did not touch at all on the effect of variable and inconsistent quality policies and politicians of a nation, principally Nigeria, where no matter my variation of my profile and my profession varies to hinge on productivity, the policies of the government voids it. May we know how we react to this ugly situation and particularly the Nigeria environment. Thank you, engineer, for this. We want to repeat also.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that question. I will try to also correct an impression that CIPROID is not a political organization. But I will allow Dr. Chris to do justice to the question you just asked. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
I ask a question.
Seems like Dr. Chris is having some internet challenge. I think you should join us back.
Okay. You join us back. Okay. Mr. Iweze, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Chief, please. Chief Iweze.
Oh, Chief, apologies.
Chief Iweze.
Chief Iweze.
Accepted.
Apologies. Yeah. Kindly drop this question in the chat room so that when we are doing the collation, we'll also attend to it and get back to you.
I will respectfully comply. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We have Mr. Ezeji. You are trying to say something. Can you go ahead, please?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to get into your platform this morning. I just got this information from my email. I don't know how it came about. Then I tried to join this morning to see what you people are talking about. The question I want to ask is, you people are talking about productivity. Perhaps is it productivity based on personal development, productivity based on industry, productivity based on processes and systems? Because as far as I know, to some of us, Nigeria is not yet even on the pedestal of development or talking about productivity. Somebody just said something that I was laughing. He just said my mind, because you cannot talk of productivity when you don't have electricity. You don't talk of productivity when you don't have, internet connection, data, broadband. In 21st century, Nigeria has no electricity. In 21st century, Nigeria, they don't have, broadband. So how, like you said, productivity, I open a business now, I have no electricity to run it. I'm expected to go and buy a generator and spend money buying diesel to be able to run that business. So how do I work smart then? How do I apply all this information you are trying to, push out here? Because we can say whatever we want. We can try, we can, coin some certain phrases, to suit us. But the truth remains that Nigeria in 21st century cannot be, called as a nation, because when you talk of a nation, you talk of electricity, basic amenities. What are the basic amenities that can drive any economy that is obtainable in Nigeria? We have to be truthful to ourselves so that we know exactly what to do. Look at all these young kids. They are coming up. What is the hope of all these kids? They go to school. The school they go to under a very deplorable condition. There is no electricity. There is no basic amenity. So how can somebody work smart under such environment? If anybody can explain that to me, I will appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me quickly take some.
Thank you so much, Chief Izeji. Let me quickly say this before I call on the Director General to do justice to that. The truth of the matter is that where we are as a nation, all of us cannot just fold our hands and continue to watch or continue to complain. It will take us to nowhere. What are we bringing to the table to improve on the deplorable condition we all find ourselves? What are we doing? That's exactly what CIPROID is trying to achieve. We don't want to fold our hands and behave like every other person that, okay, let's watch and see the sit down look approach. No, we will not do that. We have to start from somewhere. Somebody asked a question earlier, complaining about the infrastructure, complaining about electricity, about internet. We all know all this. But at the same time, we cannot all hold our hands. A lot are happening. I'm a member of the Engineering Indices and Infrastructure Scorecard Committee at the national level, Nigerian Society of Engineers. And by virtue of that membership, I got to know a lot of things. If you don't find out, you won't really understand and have a clear picture of what government is doing. Everything will not manifest overnight. Like I mentioned, most of these things, they have gestation period. If you can send your email to the chat room, I will take you on this and share some of the details I'm privileged to have. And that actually changed my mindset and orientation. I used to complain the way you are. But by the time I was exposed to most of these things going on, my perception changed. So that's why I said, type your email on the chat room. I will personally take you up on that. So Dr. Chris, I think you can also go ahead and substantiate more.
Yes, you have really done well in your contribution. Now, when we look at SWOT analysis, we look at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. When we talk about threats, they're external. When we talk of opportunities, they're external. There's nothing we can do about them. But our strength is within us, our weaknesses is within us. Now, we want to look at how best to use our strength, how best to play down our weaknesses. Now, it is in this country that ShopRite will come, establish over 30 chain shops. There's no electricity, and they are making money. It is in this country, if you go to Chinese have come and taken over our railway. If you go from Lagos to Ibadan, all the railways are working. The Chinese are in charge. They are making their money. Now, when we are talking about creating value, these problems in the country, how do we use it to create value? It is Nigerians like me and you that we spend 6 trillion on this infrastructure and you will not see anything on ground. And then it is Nigerians like me and you that puts them in power. And if you continue listening to negative news, you will not even work. I will assure you. You will just believe that the country is finished and you'll be poorer and poorer for it. But it is also in this country that some people are making hundreds of millions. And let me tell you, even if you go to America, we have beggars there. There are people that are on the street that lose for money. I have seen. They will just put this thing. If you go to London, there are people that are not doing anything. There's light, there's electricity. I have been there. If you go to South Africa, there are people you will find in the bar playing game 24/7. So what we are saying is, how can you make the best use of the opportunity you have? How can you make use of the best opportunities you have? That is what we are saying. Now, when we are talking of making money, you mustn't make money alone from Nigeria. You can export things outside, you will make money. When we are talking of making money, there are people that are good in IT. They stay here, develop softwares and sell. There are online platforms where you can sell some of these things. Then, if also Nigeria is too hot for you, you can move to Ghana. Some businesses have moved to Ghana. You can move to Republic of Benin. What we are talking about, how do you empower yourself? How are you going to be productive so that the next generation, you will not tell them that you didn't make money because Nigeria don't have light. You didn't make money because there was no good road. They will ask you, where are you when Otedola was making money? You will tell them stories. So let us talk about the ease in the society, but let the ease in the society not stop us from succeeding. Then for somebody who asks about people working in organization, they are not paying you salary. Well, I will also answer that nobody went to school or learned a skill because of one organization. So if I am in an organization with all my skill, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 8 months, you don't pay me, I will look for alternatives. It's a matter of survival. So, but then that capacity you need to make a change, to think clearly, you will get it in CPROD. That is what we are saying. Thank you.
I will be logging off, sir. Let me drop something before I go. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. I live here in London. I've been in Nigeria. I studied in Nigeria. I went to school, teachers training, whatever, tried businesses in Nigeria. They all did what? They failed. By 1994, I've established a limited liability company called Alosta Global Limited in Lagos. I employed more than 20-something people. That business crumbled by Nigerian government. I ran back to Europe again. I made money again. I came back. I established business again in Nigeria. That same business crumbled by the same Nigerian government. I decided to come to Europe to stay in Europe. Here in Europe, I came to London 2003. I finished my master's by 2005. By that same 2005, I opened a business here, Aloma Global Stores. I employed people. That business stayed stable. I never struggled with anything. I never struggled with electricity. I never struggled with anything, say government, because the inflation, the exchange rate, everything is stable. I can project. I can, write a business proposal or whatever and then achieve it. So how do we dare in Nigeria? You people keep talking about all this productivity. On this your platform now, all of us are here now. We are trying to learn. We are trying to educate ourselves, to improve our skills. But there are also some people, even on this your platform now, they are not here to learn anything. They are not here to improve productivity. They are not here even to help themselves. They are here to listen, to get information from you that tomorrow, maybe some of us that appeared on this platform, trying to rub minds together, trying to, see how we improve productivity, both personal development and, for the community. Some here also will also use this platform tomorrow to come after us, that we are maybe having a meeting on how to do something that is wrong against the government. There in Nigeria, let us face the truth. And that truth Let that truth save all of us, irrespective of our ethnicity, irrespective of religion, irrespective of education. There are things that you say first thing first. And if you don't do those first things first, there will never be, never, I repeat it, never be success, progress, or anything. All of us, we go to church, we go to mosque, we do whatever. There is what you call the law of creation, the power of, say, creation. In the Bible or wherever we all read, the first thing God did was light. He created light. He said, let there be light. From there, he started creating every other thing. Now in Nigeria is the only country on earth. I mean it. I say the only country on earth that does not even want to do the right thing so that we can get the right result. We can continue deceiving ourselves from now till eternity until we do what? The right thing. When we do the right thing, you see all this personal development, where productivity, it will just explode. Thank God. Some of you, you've lived in Europe. Why not ask ourselves, why is Europe different? And then Nigeria is always retrogression. 21st century in Nigeria is all cow, fighting, killing.
Sorry to cut you. CIPROD is not a government establishment. CIPROD is not a government agency. Therefore, if anything is going wrong in government, we are not responsible. And then there's nothing CIPROD can do because we are not having political leadership, but we are engaging them. Some people in government are members and we talk to them. But what CIPROD is about is how can myself be better than B? I've said it before that if you try business in Nigeria and it's not working, you can move to another area, which some people have done. I have some friends, some clients that have moved to Ghana where the light is stable. But then if we stay here and talk about government till tomorrow, we is not the government. So it's like we talking to ourselves and it will not bring a change. But the principle we have talked about, how to work smartly, is what we know. I have tried and it is working for me. We all know the problem of government. But now, what I'm saying is that this is not the right channel to talk to government.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Chris, for that contribution. And at the same time, I want to also thank Mazi Emeka Ezije for his wonderful contribution. The truth of the matter is that we really appreciate your comments. And like I mentioned earlier, we don't play politics. Our own is to see how we can create value addition through productivity. And that's exactly what we are doing. And to make sure that we encourage people, to encourage our friends that, okay, Nigeria is our country. Hello. All of us cannot move out of the country in search of greener pasture. If we all do that, then who is going to develop the country? Let us be sincere with ourselves. Who is going to do that? It's not as if some of us, we've not had that unique opportunity, very juicy job offer outside the country. I'm in oil and gas, and I'm a living testimony. But we have that vision. We believe in this country. We know that with some of us, we can completely re-engineer all the negative things we've been talking about on this platform. It's just a matter of determination. And some of us, we are committed to doing that. And we are going to do it. Because we have children. Our children, they will ask us questions. That, Daddy, is it during your time things went this bad? What were you able to do? if we are confronted with such questions, how do we answer them? We have to be sincere with ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your valuable contributions. I've gone through the chat room and we have a lot of questions waiting for us. If we have to attend to all these questions, honestly, we won't leave here 3 p.m. Nigerian time. But what we are going to do, we are going to respond to all the questions. I've said this before. There's one particular one that I would want Dr. Chris to quickly answer before we conclude this program, because we are even over 30 minutes. We have spent over 30 minutes outside the time allotted for this engagement. The question is, will the Nigerian factor allow all these theories we have been talking about work?
Okay.
That's about 2 or 3 people, they've asked that question in different ways, but that is just the summary.
Okay, that's fine. When you talk about theory, I am a doctor, but I have spent much of my time working in industry. So I can differentiate between theory and practical. So I'm a practical person. Some of these principles I have put in use and they have worked for me. I've traveled more than 10 countries. I have opportunity to stay in any country I like if I choose to, but I choose to stay here. It has worked for me. Here in Lagos and in the village, I have my own house, I have cars. So if it has worked for me, if you open your mind, they can work for you. But if you have a negative mind that it will never work, it will never work for you. So what I'm saying in effect is that these things have worked for me. I'm happy with the status I have attained, not only academically, but financially, because I'm able to sustain myself. I'm happy. I take care of what is within my control. I leave what is not within my control and then work productively. So that is my answer to that. Nigerian factor, like I have said, if I'm working where they are owing me 10 months salary, 15 months salary, I will not even stay up to that. I will leave. I have a lot of things I can do. So it is left for you to expand your competencies, your capacities, and see whether these things will work for you. It is also left for you to remain on, to have the same skill that is not in demand, and also remain in industry that is not growing and suffer the consequences. That is my answer to that. Then somebody in the chat box wrote that, what if you delegate and the outcome is frustrating? You must know how to delegate. Delegation is a topic in management entirely. So that means that you don't know who to delegate or you're not delegating properly. And then Azuoko, I've answered you. Please, anywhere they owe you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, please run for your life. Run for your life, because it will lead you to vices. You will start to look for money unjustly, please. So that's my answers to that.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Dr. Chris. Thanks so much. We'll take 2 more questions before we call it a day. We have Francis Chiadi. Can you ask your question?
Okay. Yes, I'm very impressed with the discussion on productivity. But one important question I would like to ask is with reference to the reality in Nigeria. Nigeria is a peculiar country.
Please, can we see your face? Okay, thank you. Thank you. You can go ahead. You can go ahead, Mr. Francis.
Why is this the case? In other countries, I mean, they have done a lot of things on their road construction to the extent that road they have finished. Okay, don't tell you. They have finished the issue of they have finished the basic issue about
Mr. Francis,
but someone has to still work, so they may give some other. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you. Please, can you take that question again? You are freezing intermittently.
Okay, my question is that Nigeria is a unique space or country or nation, or do we have so much work in Nigeria, but there are few jobs? When I say work, a lot of things need to be done in this country. In Nigeria, a lot of things are calling for attention that require concrete addressing, but we're not doing them. But people are looking for jobs. Why is that disconnect between abundant work and very scarce job opportunities? I don't know if you're able to
Dr. Chris, did you get that question?
Yes, I got it. Okay. Now, what you are saying is very correct, intelligent question. There are a lot of things to be fixed, but there's a lot of people looking for work. It's a disconnect. And the reason is because, I will tell you, we don't have people that can manage large organizations, large resources. We have very few people that can manage large organizations. What do I mean? If any large organization is set up, especially by government, and few people are put there, they're supposed to create jobs, those money will be looted. So instead of creating job, the money will be looted to private purpose. Now, what is the way forward? You find also a circumstances where you, as a father, you create a big conglomerate, and when you are no more there, your children dissipate, sell, and squander the resources. This is a cycle. So under this situation, what you can do is to make sure you gain the right knowledge. When you set up a system, you also plan for succession. You will have foreign companies, organizations that have lasted 100 years, 200 years, but no Nigerian company, Nigerian-owned company is up to 100 years. Why? So these are the things. So it's a situation where people set up a company. When they die, the company goes down. The company dies. Another person come and set up. Otherwise, you have foreign companies that are employing up to 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people. But we don't have that here. So it boils down to learning the essence of productivity and seeing what you can do and teaching people within your circle of influence. Because the mindset, I repeat, of anybody going into large organization most often is to loot. And that is why there are a lot of things to do. But instead of doing that, the resources that would have been used to do it is looted and transferred abroad. And the job is not created. The problem is not solved. That is the problem.
Thanks so much, Dr. Chris. for answering that question that professional way. We really appreciate that. We have Emmanuel Peace. Can you unmute and let's have your question? Okay, can we have Majid Tobisola Musili?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
Fine, sir. Thank you. You've done a great. I learned a lot, and I. Hello.
You can go ahead. I can hear you. You can go ahead. Although you are breaking.
Okay.
So this threat now, how can we conquer them?
Sir, you made mention of threat when you were presenting the topic so far. Hello.
Yes, did you say threat?
And I said this threat, when it comes to making wealth, how can the is it cycle or what's it called? How can we conquer the threat?
Okay, you conquer threat by looking at your strength and the things that you have threats. You look at what you can use to mitigate it. You can insure it, assuming the threat is something you can insure, or if it's a threat that is not within your strength to overcome, you delegate. But you look more at your strength. Like the last lecture we had, we talked about how to minimize your weaknesses and increase your strength. That was what that lecture said. So it's a matter of looking at your environment, looking at the opportunities, the threats. Now you use your strength where it matches the opportunity. Then the threat, you look at how you can mitigate it. That is all. It's a risk. You look at how to mitigate it or reduce it. That's just the way it goes.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Chris. If we have answered your question, kindly lower your hands electronically to enable us to coordinate this Q&A session very well. Kindly lower your hands electronically if we have taken your question. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can we quickly take
Professor Olajumoke, can we have your question?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, Doctor and Engineer, for coordinating this program. One of the things that I don't know if it is the question of his contribution, but how can the center assist in developing a form of accountability? Because I'm seeing that in our country, Nigeria, the major issue for lack of performance or for corruption, is the lack of accountability in any area that has really triggered all the issues, particularly unemployment, lack of productivity that we are seeing. You've mentioned that earlier, Engineer, Doctor, about the fact that you set up an organization, either personally or government, that they don't see the results, even if it's personal. The owner dies, the family squanders which is quite a lot. So there's no succession planning, there's no succession in these organizations. So, but is there a way of the center looking into how do you, because if you are making people accountable, because in other clients that I know, when they even give you money for anything, every other month there's a reporting system.
When you carry on,
there's a way which you must account for the project for the funds that have been disbursed to you. So why do we? So I'm not still understanding why do we allow this level of impunity in our system, either in the where we're looking at professionally or looking at the larger civil service. Thank you.
Okay, let me quickly take that. In the center, we have committees. We have committees on intergovernmental relations. And part of the mandate of that committee is to engage the government agencies, because we also have some of our members who are in government. And from time to time, our council will meet with their heads and we will table these things with them and discuss some of these issues and feedbacks we are getting from the field with them. Then they will know that people are aware, and we will also seek for their opinion. But you will also know that political landscape is a different game altogether, because you cannot ask for accountability from whom that does not recognize you, that he's answerable to you. You cannot ask someone to account when the person believes that he's not answerable to you. So we'll continuously engage with them at that level, but enforcement we may not be able to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris. Ayodeji, can we take your question now?
Thank you so much, Engineer and Dr. Chris. Let me put on my camera. I want to appreciate what the center is doing. I just want to contribute to the discussion, especially in the area of inadequate acute power supply that is affecting productivity. First, I just want to say that just like the presentation on working smart, sometimes we focus more on what we do not have than making the very best out of what we're having. The fact that businesses suffer or close down is not enough to generalize. There are many businesses that are thriving in Nigeria, and Nigeria is a destination for businesses to work. Many foreigners from the United States, from Europe, Asia, Chinese people, everybody, they are here in Nigeria working and making so much out of this country. And here we are complaining about light. Light, yes, we know that acute supply, but yeah, we can make the best out of it. You know, like for example, if you do not have heavy duty equipment, then the smart thing to do is not to buy a generator, is for you to get an inverter. You know, you are running barbing salon, you are having things that needed to light up and ensure that production continue, and you are investing so much in generator, you can invest in inverter. That's a smart way of working. Like in my house, for more than a year, we don't have to run generator. In fact, my generator has been packed up. We have put it in the store. We use inverter. We have enough sunlight from the part of the country where I'm speaking from. So we shouldn't use that as an excuse. And furthermore, to also say that all the presentations and the concept, principles we've had this morning, and I want us to take it to heart. These are universal principles. They are things that has worked for Dr. Chris, has worked for me, has worked for many people. So it's not about what you know, it's what do you do with what you know. That's what separates you. So that's just my contribution. I want to thank you and congratulate the Center for fantastic work that is being done. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mr. Ayodeji, for that excellent and insightful comments. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. We are actually running out of time. I want us to close this meeting in the next 5 minutes. On that note, I will take 2 more questions, then we conclude. Can we have your question, Ms. Grace Ekane?
Next century.
Anyway, anything
all of that you want to
about that is stupid Nigeria.
21st century. You understand me?
Please, Mazi, can you mute your mic? Can you mute your mic if you are not talking? Okay, can we have Wilson Dadet?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Chris, for that inspiring and detailed presentation. Indeed, I learned so much from it. Now, my question is from the opening presentation, you did mention 4 cycles. Now, my question is, from the 4 cycles you mentioned, from experience, which one do you think is the best that one can practice? Why I'm asking this is because I want to believe that disciples are dependent on the kind of profession or the kind of job, that one does. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe that you are talking about, I believe that we are talking about the time that you can work best. And I will tell you that it is something, the chronotype depend on you. You know when you work best. For me, early morning, difficult task, I put it first, between 8 to 10 or 11. And I don't do much in the evening. The evenings are for me to rest or relax or do light assignment. But then there are people that work more in the night. They are heavy tasks. They are heavy tasks. They wake up in the night and do it. So it really depends on you. So we are not trying to fix time for anybody. We are not trying to generalize, but we are just saying that people should study their chronotype and know when they work best and put tasks that we impact on their success during that time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Chris. Explicit.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we have Mrs. Grace now. Mrs. Grace, you can go ahead now. We can hear you.
All right, Engineer Benga, God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity. I really want to commend CPOD for this opportunity and for a job well done. I've been following the group and you're doing a fantastic job. Dr. Chris, God bless you. But there's a question I really want to put in place and then a suggestion also. I want to ask what the CPOD is doing to sensitize private organizations to develop staff who have served the organization for 15, 20 years. At the end of the year of their service, they go home without anything to, take care of their families. Can the organization do something about that? And the other one is I want to appeal to other members who attend this Zoom meeting anytime we should please have an opportunity. We know we are not well dressed. We should, because it's a global thing we do here. And then someone wouldn't come here where we have professors, doctors, captains of industry, and you show yourself without shirts on this platform. Please, I don't mean to offend anybody. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks so much, Ms. Grace Kanem, for that wonderful compliment. We really appreciate that. Dr. Chris, can you take a question?
Okay, so basically we are talking about people who work in private sector where there are no gratuity, no pension, and so forth. How organization could help them and things like that. Well, from the point one takes up a job, he must know the nature of the job and know whether the salary is consolidated or not. When we mean consolidated salary, some people say we are paying you everything once. That is why you see some people in government, maybe you are in level 14, you are taking 250,000 naira a month at that level of assistant director. But in private sector, you see a director earning 500,000 and they're telling you they're paying you everything. Therefore, what they're saying is that you should plan for your retirement by yourself. If you also don't want, you should eat all your money at a go. And that's why we talked about here, passive income, investing. So most private companies don't believe on gratuity, pension, and things like that. But rather that they will tell you that they're paying you everything. That's why they pay a competitive salary. And it depends on the individual to also plan for his retirement. In public sector, most of them earn very low salary because they deduct a lot of things. Like for example, they deduct up to 20,000, 30,000 monthly for their pension and such things. So what we do is rather to let each person know how he can increase his personal productivity while he's working, how he can invest and earn passive income. Because issue of remuneration and how somebody is remunerated, whether the salary is consolidated or salary has other packages outside it, will be determined by the employer's consultative council or the union that the organization or the sector belong to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris. I think the last two questions will come from Mr. Joshua Ogba and Dr. Chidi Ebere. Let's start with Dr. Chidi Ebere.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be here this afternoon. My special thanks to the organizer and our DG, Dr. Chris. By the grace of God, I am Dr. Chidi Ebere and I'm one of the fellows of the center. And I must acknowledge the efforts of the center in uplifting the life of an ordinary Nigerian. Is a non-governmental organization. So having that perspective in place to come and impart a huge populace with some information that will be of help is a big plus, and I must say thank you to that. My question is very simple. I, being a medical professional, and when we talk about working smart, it tends to be very difficult for us in this aspect of our profession, because you will see a situation whereby an individual who needs a medical or health need cannot actually afford the services that you probably have we render, not because you can't do that, but the exigencies and the materials needed for that to be carried out. And you now notice that some of us that has been in rural setting, you realize that what we are being paid can't be compared to the services that we render. So in that situation, are we going to sacrifice the altar of competence or the altar of public service regarding to working smart? Because you now see that we are talking about health, and in one of the 10 things that was listed, we are being told that our health is very paramount for we to be productive. So in situations whereby medical professionals, which I am limiting my question to, I'm not trying to undermine on that profession, but in practical experience, how are we going to combine working smart now and also giving that professional service that are being needed by the low-income earners or the rural setting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chidi Ebere. Dr. Chris, just hold on. Let's take the last question from Mr. Joshua Chukuma Ogba so that you can take the two questions at the same time. Mr. Joshua, please, can you ask your question?
Yeah, good day, everyone. I am extremely happy for joining this Zoom meeting. The presentation has been so enlightening and educating. So thank you so much, especially Dr. Chris Ebu. But my question here, through the email I received, I've sent an email on how I'm going to be part of this wonderful association, okay, and I've not received any reply to. So I'm asking if there is any opportunity for me to join.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll get back to you on that. We'll get back to you on that. Just ensure that you drop your contact in the chat room. We'll take it up from there. I can assure all of us that anything that we drop in the chat room, we are going to ensure that we spend sleepless nights to attend to every question. Every question. We'll get back to you. Dr. Chris, can you answer the question raised by Dr. Chidi Ebere on the medical profession?
Yes, thanks a lot, Chidi. Dr. Chidi, for your question. Working smart in a rural setting for a medical practitioner is not easy because I'm from rural area also. You may see a patient who need to buy drugs or materials worth 100,000 for you to do your even have 10,000 naira, talk less of 100,000. So it becomes difficult. Therefore, you have to make do with what you have. That is it. Because you cannot, you don't have also as a medical practitioner infinite resources to help everyone. Rather, it is the job of the government. So if you are running a private hospital and the person don't have enough resources for you to work smart or do the needful, it will be best you refer the person to government-owned hospital where the government subsidizes. I think that is my answer to that. Then the person that asks how you can join, if you go to our website, centerforproductivity.org, you will see membership requirements. But the head of admin, who is also the host, nursing is here, he will make sure he get across to you on how you can join. Thank you very much. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Chris, for this very, very exciting presentation. If we have all the time, we would have continued taking more questions. But the truth of the matter is that we don't have all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, let me use this opportunity to thank you all the attendees. Without you, there wouldn't be any webinar. You've done so well. Your questions, your comments, everything that you put across, we really appreciate. We thank you so much. We thank you so much. On a final note, I would want to crave your indulgence to ask for these CPROD ebooks. They are very, very useful instruments that can boost your productivity. The likes of Why CEO Fail, Board That Deliver, The Best CEOs, about 10 of them. If you don't have, make sure you request for those ebooks. They are very, very good. They are value addition. I want to thank you all once again for your contribution. I want to really appreciate everyone and wish you a lovely and wonderful weekend. Thank you very much. Hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.